So, Hajin then confusedly asked her, what promise? Seeing his confusion, Nayan annoyedly asked if he forgot. Soho, who was beside Nayan, then reminded him. At that time they said that they would eat together. Hearing that, Hajin finally remembered. Nayan at that time said that she was really grateful, so she would treat him to food. Once the practical exam was over, she asked if he wanted to go to that place. But after remembering that, Hajin then confusedly asked if it wasn't just the two of them who were planning to eat together. Nayan was even more confused when she heard his question because she had previously said that they would all go together. In the midst of Hajin's confusion, Yona then walked up to them. She said that she was also there at that time. They agreed to go as former travel group members. Did he not remember? Hearing that, Hajin said that he really did not remember that. He also confusedly asked her since when she was included. Yona just smiled a little at that. She told him not to be like that. She said that they would go to karaoke later too. Seeing Hajin's reluctant face, Nayan then realized that Hajin didn't want to come. So, when Hajin was about to decline their invitation and said that he would be busy that day, Nayan suddenly rubbed his head, which stunned him. He really didn't understand why she did that. Nayan laughed at his reaction. With a somewhat pleading face, Nayan said that he had to come on that day, otherwise she would put him in the group chat. Hajin could only be silent hearing that, until finally, he then sighed helplessly and accepted the invitation. Meanwhile, inside the Siaho Memorial Park, with hurried steps, Tomer was seen looking for something there. She was really confused at the moment. She was completely confused as to where her father's grave that Hajin had told her was located. She was told that the goods was in Zone 17 Line 1 Column 4, but the place had a lot of shelves that made her confused and looking for it, until finally, she then reached a shelf and saw a familiar name there, Bergman Argus. There is the place where her father left his heirloom, but Tomer was then confused when she saw a lot of flowers there, and when she picked one of the flowers, she then saw a note and learned that the flower was sent by Hajin. It made her wonder if he had come here over the years since that person died. The flowers were preserved with magic that made none of the leaves wither. Buried peacefully in a comfortable place like this, it was the funeral her father got after his death. Tomer, who hated her father very much, was certainly very angry about that fact. The memory of her father killing her mother and running off to abandon her was still fresh in her mind. When the anger in Tomer's heart peaked, she then opened the door of the shelf and threw all the flowers that were there to the ground. Tomer couldn't help but question herself at this time. All this time, what did I do all this for? Tomer felt that the hatred and revenge she had been fighting for had ended in vain. This really made her feel lost, but she then remembered that her father left a letter, and when she opened the letter and read it, how surprised she was. Fernan wrote the letter in the last days of his life. In the opening of the letter, with feelings of longing and guilt, he gently called her. He said that his heart felt chaotic when he wrote this letter. Part of his heart hoped that she would never read it, but the other part hoped that she would read it. He could only imagine what she would feel when she read this letter. He knew there were no words that could heal her pain, but letting her live wondering for the rest of her life was not what a father should do. After telling her his heart, he then told her a fact that made Tomer hold the letter tightly. His wife and her mother had sold her soul to the jinn. A very distant memory then appeared in Tomer's mind. It was a memory when he was a child and her family was still complete. Her father at that time approached her and called her with a worried face. Tomer was very happy when she saw him. She said that her mother would take her to the amusement park. Her father was surprised to hear that. With a worried tone, he then invited Tomer to go home first. Tomer was then confused by it and asked why. Her father said that he and her mother had something to talk about. Her mother looked at her father with a gloomy look when she heard that. She seemed to know what he was going to talk about. When they got home, her father then immediately scolded her mother. He asked her if she was out of her mind. Fernan was very angry because his wife really said she would hand over their child to Jin, but his wife felt there was nothing wrong with that. Fernan could only feel shocked and confused by his wife's attitude. His wife said, if it means that it can make herself stronger, she will do worse things than this. She also said that Tomer will definitely understand it someday. Fernan was really shocked and did not understand. When he heard his wife's words, he felt that she was really crazy. Seeing Fernan, who was silent, his wife then told him to step aside if he was finished talking. She told him not to waste her time. She then called Tomer and invited her to leave. Hearing that, a very strong rejection then appeared in Fernan's heart. He didn't want his daughter to leave, so, with an unclear mind, Fernan then pushed his wife, kicked her, and beat her to death. It all happened in an instant that even surprised himself. Right after that, he was then surprised when he saw Tomer, who went downstairs and called her mother. Seeing his father there, Tomer then confusedly asked where his mother was. Fernand's mind was really mixed up at that moment. He realized, if people knew that his wife turned into a djinn, then Tomer would also not be safe. She will be involved too, so, he then immediately approached Tomer and held both of her shoulders tightly. He told her to listen to him carefully and asked her to go out for help. Tomer could only feel confused by her father's request, somewhat stammering. Her father said that he hit her mother. Tomer could no longer hold back her tears when she read that part in the letter. In the letter, Fernand said that she wanted her to have a stable life in Korea, so he gave everything he had to his friend and asked his friend to take care of her. But many years later, when he returned to Korea, he could not find her back. He had looked everywhere, but he could not find her or his friend. Tomer held the letter tightly until she almost tore it when she read it. Her hands were shaking because of the shock that was in her heart at this time. The actual facts turned out to be the opposite of what she had always believed. She even did not want to accept reality and thought his father was lying. When Tomer was about to tear up the letter because she didn't want to believe what her father told her, a memory when she was a child suddenly flashed in her mind. That day was her father's birthday. While handing him a watch, little Tomer then wished him a happy birthday. Fernand was very happy with her little daughter's gift. He thanked her. Tomer asked if he liked it. She chose the same color as the brooch he gave her for her birthday. After remembering that, Tomer then took out a watch and a broken brooch. It was the watch she gave her father that time and the brooch that her father gave her on her birthday. She still kept it even though it was now a little damaged. When night fell with the moon high in the sky, after Hajin escorted Evangel to her bed, he then said goodnight to her. Evangel also waved her hand and said goodbye. But, right after Hajin closed the door of the Evangel's room, he was then surprised when his smartwatch suddenly rang, and when he opened the smartwatch, he then smiled. It turned out to be a thank you message from Tomer. Hajin felt like she made it there safely. After he received the message, Tomer then disappeared completely. She said she would return his money by any means, and the mana oath agreement was also still intact, so it wasn't that they wouldn't have contact, but even without all that, he had a feeling that someday, Tomer would be a partner he could rely on.